Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brad Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to be talking to you about sleeping bags, more specifically maintenance and care of sleeping bags. First thing to note with sleeping bags is there are two different types of filling. You get synthetic filling and down filling. Now with synthetic filling, there are all different types of synthetic fillings. I'm just going to refer to synthetic filling as synthetic filling because regardless of which one it is, maintenance is more or less the same. Now, both the sleeping bags I've got here are synthetic sleeping bags. I don't have down sleeping bags for a number of reasons. I don't have down sleeping bags, but I am in a position to talk about them. So, first thing with sleeping bags, and perhaps the most important thing with sleeping bags, is you will generally, 99% of the time, buy them like this. From the store, they will come like this, already in their stuff sack, and basically ready to be put into your rucksack, ready to go. Do not leave it like that. Do not leave your sleeping bag like that. Always take it out, and if you can, leave it outside the stuff sack. The reason being is if you leave your sleeping bag in its stuff sack like that for any length of time, and I'm talking a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, the filling itself, the actual fibers or the down itself actually starts becoming destroyed, and starts not destroyed, starts compressing, and you cannot get that that filling back. You can't get that loft back, you can't get that insulation back. Depending on the sleeping bag, a synthetic sleeping bag will lose insulation to a point that you can actually start losing the temperature difference within, it's about 0.5 degree of temperature for every month you leave your sleeping bag like this. So for example, if you take a sleeping bag that's designed to go down to -5 and you leave it compressed like this, after 10 months it's no longer -5. You're looking at a sleeping bag that can only go down to 0. So, and obviously the longer you leave it, the worse that gets. So, best thing to do when you get it at home, take your sleeping bag out, shake it out, and then leave it somewhere for a little while, just so those fibers can release and start lofting properly. That also goes the same when you get to your campsite. One of the things you need to do is actually get your sleeping bag out, lay it out, and let it loft up so it provides you a bit more insulation. Now obviously, like I say, when you're in the shop you will see them stuffed out, put in their stuff sack like that. Well, 9 times out of 10 the synthetic sleeping bags are in the stuff sack on the shelf, ready to just be bought and taken home. The reason that shops do that is partially for space reasons, but normally because, particularly with the cheaper synthetic sleeping bags, they are selling them quick enough so the filling isn't actually compromised in any way. The difference comes with down sleeping bags. Now with down sleeping bags, I can actually demonstrate what happens, because I happen to pick up on my walk a couple of down pieces of down. Down sleeping bags, it's actually worse. So where you're looking at anything from 0.5 degree, 0.5 degree a month, with synthetic sleeping bags, you can actually lose a lot more insulation with down sleeping bags. Now, a lot of people say, well, can't I just put it in a tumble dryer with a couple of tennis balls and beat the sleeping bag to get the loft back? That's when the feathers clump. So when they do this, when they actually clump together like that and lock together, then yes, you can take a tennis ball, you can beat them, and they will eventually separate. I'm talking about when the fibers are actually twisted and compressed like this, and it's the same with synthetic bags. So as you can see, when they're screwed up and compressed like that, there's not an awful lot you can do to get the down back to itself, apart from going in and fluffing up each individual piece of down, but even that's not going to get you the same loft. So with most down sleeping bags, remember this isn't a down, this is actually a synthetic, they will actually come with a store sack like this, a storage bag. Now this one, as I say, it's not down, it is synthetic. The reason this one comes in a storage bag is because manufacturers realised what I've just been saying about losing the potential insulation. So they started issuing these. Now, particularly some of the higher end markets, this one happens to be Mountain Hardware, started issuing them with storage bags. So when you're not using it for any period of time, it's supposed to go in here rather than in the stuff sack. Now obviously I can appreciate that not a lot of people have space for things like this, or for any sort of storage bag for their sleeping bag. Best thing you can do in that case is really hang it up by the hook, hang it up by the toe in your wardrobe, or anywhere that it can hang all the completely in the open, which is what these loops are for. Actually hang them up, and that will help with compression of the loft. So that's just that's general overall maintenance of both synthetic and down sleeping bags. I'm just going to put that down there for now. Now you've probably seen that sleeping bag hanging up on my wardrobe in other videos, and that's the reason I do it. It's not because I don't have the space, it's not because I'm too lazy to put it away, it's to maintain the loft, and that's precisely why I have it. Next thing, people say, can I wash a sleeping bag? The answer is always very, very subjective. Can you wash a sleeping bag? I will always say no. Reason being is, if I say yes, most people will try and shove it in their washing machine without realising the harm that they can actually do to both the machine and the sleeping bag. You can obviously get liners that can go inside the washing machine a lot easier than anything else. And although I say no, you can't put a sleeping bag in a washing machine, you actually can, provided you do a number of things. One of them is find a laundarette, because they obviously have much bigger washing machines than we do domestically, and that's exactly what you want. You want as big a washing machine drum as you can find. Secondly, you do not put your sleeping bag in with anything else. Thirdly, and perhaps probably most importantly, you've got to make sure that the sleeping bag can be washed in the first place. I should have said that at the beginning, really. So that's really number one. You should make sure that the sleeping bag can be washed in the first place. Secondly, go to a launderette and make sure they've got a drum that's big enough to take your sleeping bag. And thirdly, don't put it in with anything else. That is synthetic sleeping bags. With down sleeping bags, it's a big no-no. You can get away with it. You can get away with washing with a washing a down sleeping bag, but the general rule is no, you do not wash a down sleeping bag. The reason being is that down clumps together and it's very, very difficult to get it apart. Again, there is a way around it. I'm not going to go into it this video, but there is a way around it, and there is a way that you can wash down sleeping bags and that you can down sleeping bags. But for this video, I'm going to say no. Okay. I hope that kind of just about wraps it up, really. I hope that helps. I hope you've learned something from it. Don't forget to rate on the waffleometer below what you thought. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Take care, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.